Hi, this is Gene Coons with Coons' Tree Services out on Vashon Island, Washington. Today we have a large fir tree that is dead and threatening a house. So the house is over here. And so what we're doing, it's leaning the right way. And I think I could probably do it without ropes. But just to be sure and safe, I did put a rope in it that is coming down. You can see it right there. Right there. Coming down and is holding the tree away from the house. There's no way it could fall towards the house. And then I do have another one going in the direction of the fall. And the one that's going in the direction of the fall is a winch cable, 30,000 pound PSI, going to the bottom of a sturdy tree there with a pulley, and then coming out from there to the truck with the winch, 12,000 pound winch on it. Like I said, we probably wouldn't need to use the ropes in this case. This is a dead and dying tree, so we weren't 100% sure how well the hinge is towards the bottom of the tree. So just to be safe, we took these precautions. Okay, now I'm going to be putting in the face cut, and I sped this up a bit. It's a big tree. It takes a little bit of time, and I do miss my marks, so I have to make sure the face cut is cleaned up. But you'll see a lot of sap comes out of this tree as well, and that really makes my saw smoke. At first I thought that the clutch was burning out on my saw, but it's really just the sap getting on it. There you can see I adjusted, and I'm looking at my sights to make sure it's falling in the right location. I only have a little bit of space to get it between a fence that was taken down. Here you're going to be able to see the saw start to smoke because of the sap. And I end up having to cut some of the blackberries out of my way that get caught on my arms, and have to do that a little bit better than what I had in the beginning. So that just takes a little bit more time. But we'll make it through this and continue on. So here I'm just getting to my next sight line on this side, make sure I'm lined up correctly. This is a 36-inch bar on a 500i. There you can see it smoking because I hit the sap line. 36-inch bar on a 500i, so I had to do both sides. And now I'm doing my undercut. I'm making a home bolt on this undercut, or face cut it's called. And the reason for doing that is so that the butt of the tree falls down first and takes some of the brunt of the force of the tree hitting the ground. We're hitting really soft ground with this fall of the tree, and I want to make sure I do as little damage as possible. And so here I'm just bringing it up to the top cut. You can see it start smoking again on me because of the sap. This is going to take a little bit of time, but I'll just let it play out. You're going to see that it's a big enough face cut that I actually cut it in half after I get this other side made. There was like a pillar of sap down the middle of it. Once I got into that center wood where the sap was, it just was hitting my muffler and smoking like a mother. I got it all over my arms and had to use alcohol to get it off, which felt really good with the blackberries. And there you see I'm low on my cut. So I even it out later. And here I'm cutting the face in half so it's a little easier to break out. I know it's going to take a little bit of pounding, and you'll see how out of shape I am when I'm doing that. And here I'm going to try a trick where you can put a wedge in the middle where you split the face cut in half. And sometimes that wedge will split it, sometimes it doesn't. In this case it didn't. I'll just whack away, and then all of a sudden it'll break free eventually. Probably could have done a little bit more cutting and did a little bit easier, but it comes out eventually. There, I got the first half out, and if you look to the left, you can see the Dutchman that I've got going on there that I'm going to have to cut out. Take a little breather because I'm out of shape, but I'll even out that Dutchman so there isn't one. A Dutchman is where basically the cuts don't line up and you have a saw kerf into your hinge. You want that hinge wood to be flat and without any cuts into it at all. Otherwise that will force the hinge to break prematurely. You don't want that. So you'll see I'll take some time getting this evened up and get the Dutchmans out of there. It does take time, but you want to do it right so everything will work as it should. Here you'll see I bore in behind where that Dutchman is, and I'm making sure that I'm lined up with my fall, because basically here I'm setting up my hinge. It's going to be an elongated hinge in the opening of the face cut, but it helps me to take the Dutchmans out that need to be removed. So again, this takes time, but get it done right. That's what's most important. I should have hit it right the first time, but if you don't, this shows you can make mistakes and things will still come out like they need to. Just takes a little extra work and get it done right. Using the axe to chop the chips out and break the chips out that need to come out so there isn't a Dutchman there. I think it's good to show this kind of thing once in a while. Not everything's perfect. There you can see the sap just pouring out of the front. Yeah, not everything happens perfectly, so you just got to correct any mistakes that you have and move forward from there. You'll see this does take time. I whittle away at it with the saw, hit it with the axe once in a while, and eventually this Dutchman does get cleaned up on this left side. It's more on the left side than on the right side. But slowly but surely, we work it out of the hinge wood and make it nice and clean. Again, if this wasn't cleaned out, I could have left it, but there's a high tendency that that would break the hinge prematurely. And you want that hinge to carry this tree in the direction that it needs to go, just like a door. for as long as possible. If you break that off early, then there is a possibility of gravity taking over, and whatever is the heaviest part of the tree, that's the direction it's going to fall. You can control the fall of the tree with the hinge, but in order to do that, you need to have the hinge set up correctly. And as you can see, this is double time. This takes some time. By this time, my forearms were burning. This isn't a little saw. But get it done right, and then the tree will fall the right way. And that's what's most important. And the customer gets what they want without any fences smashed or anything like that. I go over to the right side, and there's a little bit of cleanup I got to do over there as well, but not as much. That's the side that I started on, so that didn't have as much of a Dutchman on that side as it did on the left side. So just make sure it's nice and clean, and things will work. And then here you'll see I come in just to double check the sights again one last time, that the hinge is set up, tree's gonna fall in the right spot. All right, now I'll put my back cut in, let her go. And this one I sped up a little bit, so I'm gonna be putting in the back cut. Here I'm marking about 1 inch above where the top cut is on the face on both sides, so I know right where to put the back cut. So I marked the left, now I marked the right, now I'm gonna make my back cut across both of them. And smoking again because I hit that that layer of sap. And then I'll be putting a wedge in, and you'll see that wedge is critical on this one. The wedge you put in to just in case something happens, so it cannot lean backwards on you. And you can see the smoke again. That is just smoking like crazy. Pounding in the wedge after I get the saw into the wood good enough, and that is just so that the tree cannot set back on your saw. And now I'm cutting up to the hinge, and on this one, because I'm going to be pulling it over with a winch cable, I'm leaving a really thick hinge, probably more than what I needed to leave, but you got to remember I've got a house 20 feet to the right of me, and I'm wanting to make sure that this goes where I want it to go. So I leave probably a 6-inch hinge on this tree, which again is way more than what you need. It could have probably gone down to a 3-inch hinge. Takes a little bit more of my winching power to make it work, but it does work. And here you'll see I'll take some of the guts out of the hinge. You never want to take any of the side posts out of the hinge, but you can take the guts out a little bit. It makes the tree fall over a little bit easier. And then what you're gonna see when I get done with this is I'm gonna actually use my remote for the winch, and you're gonna see the tree go forward a little bit and then come back. Just watch that, see that? What happened there is my truck actually moved. I had it chucked up the tires, but it was on really wet ground, so it slipped. And that's why you have the wedge in the back. So it couldn't set back any further than that wedge. That wedge stopped it. And now I'm starting to pull in the truck with the brakes mashed on, and you're gonna see that there is a branch that breaks up top, and the tree comes back again. Right there. So important to have that wedge in there to stop it from coming all the way back. And now I'm just going to crank on it with the winch, 12,000 pound winch again, and it's going to go over in the direction that we want it to the joy of everybody. So we will just watch it and listen. And here's the view from the other direction where you see it falling. So went exactly where we needed to go. We had about 10-foot space in the fence. Customers are happy. I'm happy. Adrenaline's
Everybody
pumping.
just wanted to close out this video. There was a lot of good things in that video to show. And I think that hinge, setting it up, kind of like life. Things don't always go the way that you plan them to, but a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, you can clean it up and make things go right. Using the winch cable, that really helps trees go where you need them to go. And it just gives that reassurance. I know the hinge. Once the hinge wood, we know it is solid. We could have done it without the cable, but we didn't know that in the beginning. And I like to try to make things about 100% as possible. So I hope you enjoyed this one, learned a little bit, and don't always worry if your saw is smoking, because it might just be sap. Have a great day, you guys.